This video is sponsored by Misen. I need a salad, but not just any salad. I need a really good one. One that feels like a complete meal. One that has flavor and texture. One that is truly satisfying. I've got a salad that checks all those boxes, and that's what we're going to make today. So hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and let's just jump right into it. This salad is greatly inspired by a salad I order at this company called Chopped Creative Salad Company. They got lots of different things you can choose from, and you walk through kind of like a Chipotle for salads, and you custom build your salad and then they chop it. The whole shtick of the place is that everything gets chopped, which makes for a really good eating experience in a salad. Given you have lots of elements in there to create satisfaction, texture, crunch, chewy, different little flavors that are gonna make a salad good. So today I have some quartered up cherry tomatoes, some frozen corn, frozen edamame as well. I've got some goat cheese, I gotta dice up some carrot, I'm gonna fry up some crispy tortillas, and we're making some panko fried chicken with some chicken tenders. And we're gonna finish it all up with a nice balsamic vinaigrette. And the base of this is going to be kale. Now I love kale for salad. It's hearty, it's gonna last a while in your fridge. You're not gonna have to worry about it wilting. You can literally beat it up and it's still gonna have its texture. There's two kinds of kale. This is the dinosaur kale, Tuscan kale. It has all sorts of different names, but its look is pretty indistinguishable. So this is my favorite. It's a bit sweeter than the other option, which is the curly kale. I happen to have both. You can use one or the other. You can use both. They're both great and they both work in the salads. So you can use other lettuces if you want, but for me, I really am a fan of kale. If you treat it right, it's gonna be tender, it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna get this kale chopped. I have it washed. You always have to wash kale. There's lots of dirt and all sorts of critters that you might be laying around. So just give it a good soak in water and then dry it off. Now we're just going to clean this kale up and give it a chop. So if you grab and pull from the stem through your fingers, the leaves will easily separate from the stems. Now I know it's gonna get chopped again later, but obviously it's a big mass, so it doesn't hurt to just work it down a bit. So just give it a rough chop. Just give it a little squeeze. Just gonna make that a little bit more tender. We're just gonna set that off to the side. I'm gonna cut up the carrot. Just a nice thin slice on the carrots should be good. It's gonna get chopped again later. Cut the tortillas in half and then slice them into thin strips. Now we gotta bread some chicken real quick, and I got some panko breadcrumbs, I've got some egg, and I've got my chicken tenders here. I'm just going to save dirtying something else and sprinkle flour and do the dredge right into this little pan here. And then you know the drill. We're just gonna run it through, get them breaded, and you got breaded chicken. The key to breading chicken is making sure the chicken is sufficiently coated at each stage. The flour should be lightly dredged but fully coated. The egg should be fully engulfed in the flour, and the breading should be packed on and ensure that there's no wet spots remaining. I find once all the chicken is done being breaded, popping them in the fridge for 20 minutes is just gonna help that breading stick to it while it cooks. Okay, now we're gonna make balsamic vinaigrette. Very simple, we've done this before. There's a whole video I made about vinaigrettes. So if you wanna go check that out, I'll leave a link down in the description. Very simple, it's always usually four main ingredients. I've got some balsamic vinegar. I'm just gonna start with maybe a quarter cup, a few tablespoons. Then I'm gonna go with about a tablespoon of honey, an equal amount of the Dijon mustard, some salt, pepper. Mix that and start to drizzle in some olive oil. Very nicely balanced. I'm happy with it. So now there's 4 things we need to take care of next, and then we're pretty much done. Before we get into this final phase, you guys gotta listen up because I'm about to save you 20% off on cookware. So let's take a minute to thank our sponsor today, Misen. Misen's mission is to inspire and enable great cooking, which is an ideal that I can get behind. Misen offers premium kitchen tools at affordable prices like this 10-inch stainless steel skillet. It's a thick 5-ply stainless steel skillet which creates more distance between the flame and the pan, allowing heat to more evenly distribute and retain longer. And a good stainless steel pan is made of 2 metals. Stainless steel, which is easy to clean and retains heat, but it's a poor conductor, with an aluminum core, which doesn't retain heat, but it conducts it a lot better. The combination of the aluminum core and the stainless steel exterior is what makes a good stainless steel pan. It has more cooking surface area. Most 10-inch skillets are actually 8 inches of actual cooking space, but Misen designed their skillet with 19% more cooking space, which is a big deal because it means more space to cook and less overcrowding, which means you have to cook food in less batches, which saves you time. And if all that wasn't good enough, Misen is giving my viewers 20% off their first order. Head on over to misen.com/notanothercookingshow, or you can click the link down in the description where you can place your first order and get your 20% off. It's a fantastic deal if I do say so myself, so make sure you go check it out, and thank you Misen for sponsoring this video. Okay, now back to the recipe. All I'm gonna do next is get some water in a pan. No need to dirty another thing, we can do this all in one pan. Season that water with some salt. Now once that heats up, we're gonna drop the edamame and the corn in and just warm it up real quick. No more than 30 seconds, a minute. Then we're gonna drain the pan of that water. We're gonna add oil to it. I'm gonna fry the crispy tortilla strips, fry the chicken, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. So let's just jump right into it. Once boiling, add the edamame and the corn and let that cook for about 30 seconds to a minute max. Then drain, set them aside, and then dry out that pan. Get it back on the stove on about medium to medium-high heat, and then add a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of oil. Once you think it's hot, take one of those tortilla strips and test the oil. If it bubbles, it's hot enough, and then you can add the rest of the tortilla strips, and you can fry those for 2 to 4 minutes until lightly browned and crispy. And then drain those on a paper towel. Next up, fry the chicken. You want to manage the heat here. These are not thin chicken cutlets. If you cook them too fast, they're not going to cook through. So you just want to flip them every minute or so. I like to move the pieces around so they brown evenly, and once crispy and cooked through, transfer to a wire rack and season with salt. If you want to check for doneness with a thermometer, pull them at around 155 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and as they rest, they're going to carry over to about 165, and they're going to be perfect and juicy. Beautiful chicken tenders. We're going to get these off to the side, let them rest. So now I'm just going to take a little salt, season the kale, scrunch it up a little bit more, start to break down those fibers so they get a little sweeter and tender. You're gonna smell this like sweetness come out. Now I've got my carrots, I got a little too much, so I'm just gonna use a little bit and get those in. Equal amount of the cherry tomatoes, maybe like 1/4 of a cup, in with the corn and edamame. I'm gonna put a little bit of the crunchies in here and then some crunchies on top. Same with the goat cheese, a little bit in the salad and a little bit on top. You want to break them up, otherwise if you get big chunks of goat cheese in there, it's going to be pretty strong. It's like acidic, it adds a nice brightness to the salad. And then what they do is they take that whole thing and they dump it onto a board and chop it up with a mezzaluna, which I don't have, but we have a big knife and that's fine. So just like this. Then I'm going to take 2 of the pieces of chicken right on top. And then we just can go ahead and chop it up. You can go as fine as you want, as coarse as you want, but the idea is to just get it all mixed together so that each bite has sort of a little bit of everything. The goal is aiming to have everything roughly chopped into similar or equal sizes, making sure everything tosses together and is incorporated really well. Then scrape the chopped salad back into the bowl and dress the salad with a couple tablespoons of the dressing and toss together with your hand. Clean hands are the best tools for tossing and plating salads. You want height. Height in a salad makes it more visually appealing. A flat salad tells your brain it's wilted, and that's no good. So go for height and then add the finishing touches of the crispy tortillas, the goat cheese, and a final drizzle of balsamic vinaigrette. So many flavors, so many textures. It's got everything you want to eat all in one. This could be your breakfast, it could be your lunch, and it's certainly going to be my dinner. So if your salad game is feeling a little bland, give this a shot.